All right, guys, I'm back with another chapter in 1 Samuel. We're in 1 Samuel chapter 28, where the header reads, Saul consults a medium. And we'll go ahead and get right into it. About that time, the Philistines mustered their armies for another war with Israel. King Achish told David, You and your men will be expected to join me in battle. Very well, David agreed. Now you will see for yourself what we can do. Then Achish told David, I will make you my personal bodyguard for life. Meanwhile, Samuel had died, and all Israel had mourned for him. He was buried in Ramah, his hometown, and Saul had banned from the land of Israel all mediums and those who consult the spirits of the dead. The Philistines set up their camp at Shunem, and Saul gathered all the army of Israel and camped at Gilboa. When Saul saw the vast Philistine army, he became frantic with fear. He asked the Lord what he should do, but the Lord refused to answer him, either by dreams or by sacred lots, or by the prophets. Saul then said to his advisers, Find a woman who is a medium, so I can go and ask her what to do. His advisers replied, There's a medium at Endor. So Saul disguised himself by wearing ordinary clothing instead of his royal robes. Then he went to the woman's home at night, accompanied by 2 of his men. I have to talk to a man who has died, he said. Will you call up his spirit for me? Are you trying to get me killed? The woman demanded. You know that Saul has outlawed all the mediums and all who consult the spirits of the dead. Why are you setting me up for a trap? But Saul took an oath in the name of the Lord and promised, As surely as the Lord lives, nothing bad will happen to you for doing this. Finally, the woman said, Well, whose spirit do you want me to call up? Call up Samuel, Saul replied. When the woman saw Samuel, she screamed, You deceived me. You are Saul. Don't be afraid, the king told her. What do you see? I see a god coming up out of the earth, she said. What does he look like? Saul asked. He is an old man, wrapped in a robe, she replied. Saul realized it was Samuel, and he fell to the ground before him. Why have you disturbed me by calling me back? Samuel asked Saul. Because I am in deep trouble, Saul replied. The Philistines are at war with me, and God has left me and won't reply by prophets or dreams, so I have called for you to tell me what to do. But Samuel replied, Why ask me, since the Lord has left you and has become your enemy? The Lord has done just as he said he would. He has torn the kingdom from you and given it to your rival, David. The Lord has done this to you today because you refused to carry out his fierce anger against the Amalekites. What's more, the Lord will hand you and the army of Israel over to the Philistines tomorrow, and you and your sons will be here. With me, the Lord will bring down the entire army of Israel in defeat. Saul fell full length on the ground, paralyzed with fright because of Samuel's words. He was also faint with hunger, for he had eaten nothing all day and all night. When the woman saw how distraught he was, she said, Sir, I obeyed your command at the risk of my life. Now do what I say, and let me give you a little something to eat, so you can regain your strength for the trip back. But Saul refused to eat anything. Then his advisers joined the woman in urging him to eat. So he finally yielded and got up from the ground and sat on the couch. The woman had been fattening a calf, so she hurried out and killed it. She took some flour, kneaded it into dough, and baked unleavened bread. She brought the meal to Saul and his advisers, and they ate it. Then they went out into the night. And that's the end of chapter 28, guys. For this chapter, I actually just have one question. I don't really have any answers or reflection. I want to know why that medium was able to have any perceived access to Samuel, knowing that he should be in heaven or simply awaiting to go to heaven, or the way we understand Revelations and the second coming of Christ, knowing that Christ hasn't come yet. I don't understand why we are to believe that that would be, if she has access to him, would that not be some type of divine power, maybe even potentially a spiritual gift? I don't understand that I in what I've um, learned or been taught historically, that speaking with the dead or mediums or anything like that is works of the devil. And so, I mean, she did preface it by saying that, hey, this reflection of wanting to speak to this person, all I see is him wrapped in a godly shroud, or a presence of God. But I don't understand why God would allow her to have access to Samuel. Because obviously God would have to allow it. But where Samuel is at, I guess I just don't understand why that one. I'm going to ask my pastor about that one. That one really, I don't know if it bothers me or if it just, if I'm extremely curious about that. I don't know why, because of how I've always understood the works of mediums, and the fact that you shouldn't go seeking counsel with the dead or conversations or anything like that. It just opens the door for so many terrible things. And so what she spoke was truth, and just doubled down on what Samuel had said. And so that was still divinely inspired, because the original message wasn't divinely inspired. But I don't understand the seeking out of Samuel even after his death. The fact that they were even able to access him at all confuses me. So I'm going to leave that there. That's definitely food for thought for myself. And I am curious as to what insight I could find on that, because that creates some, I don't want to say unease, but curiosity. I know all things work according to God's will, and they all work out for our good and our victory. And so this was just simply a reiteration of what has already been spoken, which is true and of God. But the medium's access to those things confuses me a little bit. And maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just my linear understanding of how things happen. And this was just God simply using her to allow the message to happen. That's totally plausible. It could just be that. But I'm curious now. So on that note, have a good night. God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll be back for chapter 29 of 1 Samuel tomorrow, where the header reads, "The Philistines reject David." And on that note, have a good night and God bless, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.